Good afternoon, Scott Redler, T3 Live. Welcome to today's recap. So another day. It's Wednesday. This morning we started out, futures were up, retail sales disappointed. Kind of went against the argument that the weather caused a little bit of a slowdown in our economy. We quickly came in, and then in the first 10 minutes, the market did what the market always does. It pushes the envelope one way. There was some kind of buy program that pushed all the stocks that probably hit their highs at 942. I don't know how many times my P&L has been at its highs at 942. Or if you see me tweet and say, the Dow is up 242 points, it's 942. And then pretty much does nothing for the rest of the day. We've seen that on the downside too, where all of a sudden, what was it, on Monday, we were down, or actually no, yesterday, we were down, 25 handles by 948, and then we reversed it and we crawled back up. But I guess that was better action than just pretty much doing a hell of a lot of nothing. But there was a weaker undertone. A lot of arguments out there. Are we going to break out to new highs? Are we going to break down? And I feel like people who think we're going to break down, they have very valid reasons, and I have to agree with a lot of them. And then some people who think we might break out, I look at some of those reasons, and I agree with some of them as well. So that just shows you how much of a lack of conviction that I have, and even most of the people who are trying to give me which way they think, their conviction isn't there as well. So I guess the market will tell us which way we want to go, and we just have to have our game plan and our levels in front of us. If you go to a quick chart of the spiders or the SPX, you'll see, basically we had a small reversal to start the week on Monday after a strong end to it on the jobs Friday. Then, here we reversed into the 50-day, and then, today opened up above the prior high and closed below it. So if you read my note, or if you watch my Twitter at 5 o'clock in the morning, I talk about levels. So this morning I was like, okay, futures are up 6 or 7 handles. Let's see if we could hold above 2105, yesterday's high. Okay, and if you can't hold above 2105, that means the momentum's not there, and you probably lighten up, and now we closed over here. So at this point, we closed with a low of 2096, and here is yesterday's low. So we're in a much tighter range where the bears had a little bit more control today and the bulls had a little bit more control yesterday. But overall, we're still above this support. We're still above this support. We're still, in this ascending type channel that we haven't been able to close and stay below. And we're still about 1% or so away from the highs. So the jury's out. I would have longs and shorts, and I would just have some quick feed and keep exposure down both ways. Low gross, low net. It's not a bad thing. Let's quickly run through the sectors. Some people were pointing out to me today if I actually had, data. I don't see any data here, Freddie. So let's close this out real quick so you can come on me while I'm closing it out. And basically what people were talking to me about is the potential of the head and shoulders pattern on the Russell. The lack of outer performance, which it had to start the year. So for me, I was thinking perhaps, I'll take a look. So let me go and see if my e-signal works. So I'm going to go here and click it on, and at this point, let's see if it does come in. I'm looking to my left, so that's why the camera's looking at me funny. We do this real time. So okay, so here it is. That's the spiders, and let's go now to the IWM. So my partner back there just had to fix it up, and he's going to his screen, and he's going to put it on. So the first shot across the bow, I guess, was, the breaking of this ascended channel. You had your outside day right here. And now it looks a little bit like, a bigger, head and shoulders pattern. And now we're in the process of building a potential right shoulder. And if that's the case, that pretty much helps support, the bearish argument, right? Here would be your head and shoulders pattern. Here would be your neckline. Last time everyone thought that, it was right here. Remember this one? Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, but it held and rallied. So now we'll see what happens here. So we'll watch this develop. IBB doesn't have the same kind of pattern, but you have your high right there, you have a lower high, and now today some people are thinking that's a lower high, and we're still in this downtrend. Okay, this accelerated trend was broken, and then from here, this more intermediate trend was broken, and we're still on the right side of it. So, and then I look at some of the charts in the bios, and they feel a little bit, tired too. So, right now the jury's out there as it's in consolidation mode. On the flip side, though, you have the XLF that's strong. So, with rates continuing to go up, people think that you have to be a buyer of the banks, and at this point it's still holding in there. So that's more in the stronger camp. Talking about rates, the TLTs got beat up again today. So when we talk about reversal patterns, and different types of strategies on how to use a tier system, first of all, here is exit number 1, here is exit number 2, right there, boom, and then we, broke the 200-day, and then it rallied back up to the 200-day. That's what that was. You broke it, rallied back up, and then boom. So yesterday you had the potential of a reversal. So if you played it intraday and made money, sometimes you take a third home for follow-through. The TLTs were up $1 pre-market. So when I have something overnight, okay, I typically, before I come into this morning call in the morning, what time is it right now? Okay, I sell half or a third. So if I bought the TLTs yesterday, which I did, I made money in the reversal, I didn't take it overnight. Some that did, what you would do is if you took a third, you sell up $1, and then you hold maybe, in the morning, and then you hold half, and then you see if you go from green to red and you can't hold, you get out of it, and that was it. That was your day and a quarter strategy. And then we wait to another level that potentially has a stronger reversal, and then you do the trade again, take a third, and then maybe it works out a little bit better. But all of a sudden, you look at the TLTs again, it basically engulfed us, okay, right to the downside. So who knows? Now it's getting very comfortable below that 200-day. So again, we talk about selling when things break the 8 and 21-day. Usually institutions, support a 200-day, and here they're not. So maybe rates are continuing to go. So let's go through some charts. Apple, a whole lot of nothing. It tried to stay up all day and then came down, still being controlled by this downtrend. I'm not sure what's going on there. Facebook actually had its first green day. Overall, the chart is still broken and has a lot to prove. It broke right here on earnings day, but finally a green day. The first one, chart's not so great, but if we were up tomorrow based on the strong close, perhaps you can get another 50 to 70 cents before it's worried about what it has to do next. BABA was a great trade in the morning and then turned into a pretty frustrating scenario. Doesn't mean it's game over, just means that you have to take some trades and be careful still on your new purchases. Okay, it's still above the gap. It tried to break above the flag, couldn't hold above it, but it's still in this area that it's above the downtrend and trying to work its way higher. You look at the 5-minute chart, people you could see when it broke. It was trading really well with momentum above the 8-day. Then when it broke right below here, that was your get rid of some of your extra shares, and then from there just trended lower all day. So here was your first power formation where it gapped up, went sideways. I added right through here, sold some. I actually added here too, sold some, and then I tried to buy some here, it didn't work. I tried to buy some here, it didn't work, and this is where it closed. So it's still fine. If you waited to buy up here, you definitely were like, what's going on here? It's not fun. As far as other stocks, what did Amazon do today? Amazon closed pretty weak. Still fine, but a weak day for Amazon, above the earnings gap, just little bits and pieces. Tesla, we actually made some money short today. Okay, I shorted it when it was up, actually $1. Prince had a good call. Did a little bit of a reversal, went below this 346.35 and went down to, 243, nice little $3 short. It's extended from the 8-day, so I figured it's worth trying. So maybe it comes back into here and it's buyable. Lots of different trades happened in this one. Started being a good go-to status here, and then when it took back the 200-day there, and now it's just a little overbought. So we'll see what's next. What else? Shack came out with earnings after the close. I'm not sure where it is now, but it looked like they had good growth numbers, but for the valuation, it's pretty nuts. We'll see what happens. I think when I came in here, it was trading around 74. Last time the earnings were bad and it started lower and they saved it. I think that happened to be right here. And then you had that great setup to the upside, and now it's just to be a bit more careful, but it's up. We'll see where it is when I go back there. Habitat, had a big move, same sector, hit as high as 40, just pulled in. So if you bought the pull in, and if Shack actually holds up tomorrow, maybe this will be in play for a little bit more action. Citigroup, I'm in. We'll see if it could actually break out and go above this level here. Tried, so it was worth having. Goldman Sachs is still above, its area above the 8-day, still trending. JP Morgan still looks good. The financials are still being bought on dips. Oil with a very weak dollar or down dollar was still weak, so I'm actually short a little oil to see if we get some downside follow through. The UUP, I think some smart guys were talking about at least covering your short in the dollar. You know, I remember up here I had my CNBC quota. They spoke about how it was going to parity 40 times in a day. That was your, you better sell it. And then today they started talking about all the weakness in the dollar. So maybe that's your cover and buy. So if you were looking for some kind of dollar exposure, I would think into this, you know, might be a decent plan to at least cover your short, at least, because everyone's saying it's got to go to the 200-day now. Same way everyone was saying, you know, you had to go to parity in the dollar. So maybe this is a better, you know, nibble now versus add to your short. But we'll see. And that's really it. I got to get going. I got to catch a ferry. Sorry for being so quick. I'll be in here tomorrow with the morning call with Brittany, and we'll see what's next. There's definitely a hit and miss type of tape. You have spots that are compelling and spots that you just want to be at the gym at lunchtime because it feels like nobody's home in the market. Things just drift, and you could turn a good trade into a bad trade, and a bad trade into a disaster if you just get frustrated and, you know, hit the keyboard a little bit too many times. But today, felt like there was a lot of opportunity. I actually also have BlackBerry. You know, it's kind of hanging in there. You know, you had your big wide range bar on volume, and it's still going sideways. You know, they've been talking about a deal for so long. So I feel like, you know, with the technicals being decent, I'll stay in some and see, you know, maybe something happens. All right, that's it. See you in the morning. Have a good night.